To another episode of the Real License Podcast. Um, have a special guest today, but let me introduce him officially. It's gonna be a long intro. Way before we know who Bo Jackson was, way before we know who Deion Primetime Sanders was, you know, we had, what did Pusha T say in a song? Legend in two games like Pee Wee Kirtland. We have our own legend in two sports. But we're going to change the lyrics. We're going to say a legend in two sports like Mr. Karenton. So we have Mr. Karenton Facey here on a mission to keep telling St. Thomas stories and highlighting unsung heroes from St. Thomas, Jamaica. This is my next guest on this journey, and we're gonna get into, a little other bio stuff, early life stuff. We're gonna talk about some of his accomplishment as a teenager, as a track star, primarily at JC, Jamaica College, but originally from St. Thomas JA. Sorry about that, life happens. This man simultaneously performed at a high level in two sports, track and field and football. And when I started this mission, he was one of the people I wanted to highlight and talk about, his journey as a track star in high school all the way up to college. And, being from St. Thomas, it's only right that we highlight someone of his caliber. Welcome to the show, Mr. Facey.
Welcome, Mr. Brown. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, man. So, we tell St. Thomas stories, so let's just talk about the early beginning. Like, I know you're from Roselle, but were you officially born in Roselle?
No, I was born in Duckensfield.
Duckensfield, Far East, okay.
Yeah, Far East. I was born in Duckensfield, and I came to Springfield when I was about maybe 3 years old.
Oh, okay.
And at Springfield, that's where all the major sports and stuff were. So I was able to watch all the soccer games and track meets and stuff over there by Goodyear. At Springfield.
Oh, so the Berlin Real Mind era.
Yes, man.
Was very influential on your life.
Very, very. Because I was always at all of those games. So Springfield, went to basic school in Duane, Berlin. Mm-hmm. So
was that the same basic school as JT?
Yeah, man. I went to school with man like JT. So I used to hang around with man like JT and the great Ricky Murray. Those people, but most of the JT and them, most of them used to live on the scheme.
Oh, okay.
So me and Ricky Murray were like living across from the scheme. So
okay.
Piece still.
Okay, so the Roselle thing came later on.
Later on. Actually, from Springfield, I moved to White Horses for a short period of time.
Okay.
Because then my dad was working at Goodyear factory, and he had started his house over by Roselle, and then we eventually transition from White Horses.
If someone had asked me if Milo and P had anything to do with Duckensfield, I'd be like, no man, Roselle them man they come from.
We would go back like during the Christmas time or during the summertime. And, we'll go back. But we were not necessarily Duckensfield people like that. Because we didn't necessarily grow up there. Like summertime we go look for grandma and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. So after basic school, where did you? Which primary school?
After basic school, I went to the greatest primary school on the island, the great MORANT College.
You trying to start a war here, right?
The great MORANT College.
Have you ever heard that License Primary is the only prep school? Closest thing to a prep school in the parish.
I've heard of License College. I've heard of it. Good school, too. Very good school. But
great school.
The great MORANT College.
I have to say it's the best because it's my school.
I know. It produces a lot of great people as well. So when you're coming from a good parish, you're going to have people coming from a little bit of everywhere.
A little bit of everywhere, yeah man. So tell us a little bit, tell the viewers a little bit about, the MORANT College days. Who were some of your schoolmates that you can remember?
That I can remember? Oh man. So when I started MORANT College in grade 1 actually. So I moved from grade 1 to grade 3. Some of my schoolmates were same guys like JT, Noel Harvey, Mumbling Hamilton, Everton Hamilton. Mm-hmm. Kirkichin, Lloyd Thompson, Karenton and I were very close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm a classmate, along with his sister Joanne as well.
Oh, okay.
Light Thompson. But all the guys then that were really doing great things were like guys were like Michael Dunn. You have like guys like Henry Colley, Dean Jackson.
I know. I remember Henry Colley. I think he actually taught at one point at Mark Bay High School. One of the sciences, I think.
Yes, I think I'd left by then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Girls like Dean Jackson.
Because that's when, Dean Jackson be like, that was their era. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where and when I know who you were. There was a period in time I was a kid. I remember when going to a sports day at Marby at all age, and it was all about pee and mumbling and those awesome races. And by the time I got to Marby High School, you already left. But I'll go talk about that later on. So from Marby all age, you went to.
From Marby all age, went to Marby High School. So I started Marby High School in 1979.
Oh, okay.
My classmates, as I can remember then, Howard Jackson and Christopher Higgins, who were pretty much both kids of principals and vice principals at the time. Christopher Higgins' dad was Mr. Higgins, who was a principal at
I know Chris.
Marby.
That's Marsha's brother.
Yeah.
I know Chris.
So
he passed away, right?
Yes.
Yeah, rest in peace to Chris.
Yeah.
So when did you realize, because you became a big track star, like I said, most of your work was with JAMAICA College and some at Marby High School. When did you realize, let's talk about the track and field stuff, then we're going to talk about the football stuff later. When did you realize you could run fast?
I realized that from an early time, because like I said, being at Springfield, that was the stamping ground for many, many, many athletes. When the older guys would come and play soccer or run, we used to always out there with a piece of stick, run our own relays and just run up and down, chasing around. Because like I said, I grew up right there next to the field. My first major anything at all for the parish of St. Thomas, I was 9 years old. And we had like trials in Springfield, and I was first place in the under 10. So I actually represented St. Thomas when I was 10 years old.
Wow.
At the time, they were breaking down the parish championships into like regions. So our region was St. Thomas, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. St. Thomas, St. Mary, and Portland.
And Portland, okay.
Okay, right. So big day come. That event actually was at Springfield. So the Portland people them come, St. Mary people them come. I was running the 200 that day, and Karenton Facey was first place in the 200 meter.
And a star was born.
And a star was born. Yes.
Was it in that same time frame you realized you were that good at football also?
At football, you know what? I had a passion for goalkeeping. So even though I was playing on the field, I was just playing on the field for mostly like pickup games. But when it comes down to breaking it down to what I really, really love out of the soccer thing was really, really goalkeeping. Because that actually started to have to give Ricky Morel a lot of credit, because he and I would go to like over by Goodyear, and when the big man them come to start practice and stuff, they would try to kick shot at the goal. So we would go in the goal. Sometimes me and him in the goal because we were smaller. And trust me, even when the ball had come as a little youth, man, I was always there. And I'm like, man, I kind of love this goalkeeping thing.
Oh, okay.
And my mom, she would buy soccer balls, and I would always set up 2 stones and have my brother kick shots, and I'm always diving at them and thing. But yeah, I have my soccer first passion was goalkeeping.
Oh, okay. So we're going to talk to what position you played later on. So you went to Marby High School. Were you automatically like dominating like class 4, class 3, like from first, second form in track and field and football?
I was not the dominant sprinter in class 4.
Who was?
A guy named Everton Mumbling Hamilton.
Oh, him, the same mumbling guy.
Yes. He was the dominant sprinter at the time. So the top 3 for class 4 then was Hamilton, myself, and Mr. Anthony Christie. So sports day.
Living legend, Anthony Booger Christie. We coming for you too, Playboy.
So sports day, it was Hamilton first in the 100 and the 200. I was second in the 100 and the 200. Christy was third in the 100 and the 200.
So you and Christy been friends that long?
Yeah, man. We have always known each other. And just like you said, you have heard of me, even from a younger age. So he have also heard of me.
Oh, okay. Because he was from the Yalas end.
From the Yalas end. So what had happened is like, at the time, Everton Ableton, he was not running at the time. So I was pretty much the dominant sprinter in that age group at the particular time.
Class 4 is like 12 years old, right? 12.
When you just start Morant Bay High School,
Yeah,
12,
first.
13 was class 4.
Yeah,
But even from the age of 9 at Springfield, there was nobody there who was beating me.
Oh, okay.
I was, day in and day out, I was always a champion. But Morant Bay High School class 4, Hamilton was a dominant force. And up to class 3. I surprised him one time. It was a class sports day, and we were running the 150. And for some reason,
You got the best of him.
Yeah, man, I got the best of him that day. It was like a big talk at the school and everything. But it never lasted long because he came back and beat me sports day.
Hey, you can't win them all.
Yeah.
So, were you simultaneously maintaining a high level of football performance in first form while running track at the same time, like first and second form?
Yes, but I was in the goal.
Oh, you was your goalkeeper.
Yeah, a funny thing with that is most of the players and because I was like 12 when I just started high school. I remember one day I was on the field and there was the guy who kept the year before. I knew him, a guy named Powder B. R.I.P. Rest in peace, Mr. Powder. I said, Powder, I want to go for the under 15 team. And I was small. And the man said, yes, man, go and talk to Mr. Simpson. He was a white guy from England who was our coach named Mr. Simpson.
Okay.
Yeah. And he said, go on. I said, no, man, I'm kind of shy, so carry me. And he carried me to Mr. Simpson. Tell Mr. Simpson so I can keep. But all these guys were bigger. Like I said, they were thirst farmers. I'm like, man. So I go out there and I can remember the first shot was kicked. He set up a drill where the foul would go past the defender and kick a shot. So the guy came past and kicked the first shot. It was a very hard shot. It went wide. He set it up again. And the guy did the same thing and kicked the shot. This time it is going to the far post. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a bullet. And what am I going to do? Because I have to, it's just like a split second of thinking. I say, you know what, I'm going after this shot. And I turned left and I dove at that ball. And believe you me, when I did like this, it was in my hands. And from that day, I've never came out of that goal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was keeping under 15 from Morant Bay High School when I was 12, 13 years old.
Oh, okay. So, when did you make the transition from Morant Bay High School to Jamaica College?
In 1982.
82.
In 1982, yeah.
And what sparked that decision? Was it the age-old better opportunity to be seen and to succeed?
No, you know what though? It was just good family friends. One of our close family friends was a teacher at Jamaica College.
Oh, okay.
And we were close to we were all close, and he told my mom that he could get me in, it was not necessarily a scholarship, so to speak, for sports.
It was just a transfer.
It was a transfer, but he also knew that because of my athletic thing, it could be a better thing for me.
Oh, okay.
So I was happy for that. Plus, Jamaica College was a school that I've always admired. I mean, people talk about Casey and Calabar. I just think that there was a notch there, prestige-wise, for Jamaica College. And when I get that news, man, I was the happiest and the most excited person.
Yeah, so I started Morant Bay High School in '83, but I knew you from that sports day that I attended as a kid at Morant Bay College. But then your brother Milo was still at Morant Bay High School, and like the entire '80s, like I don't think I missed a boys' champs at Gibson Relay, a mutual life game, and It used to always eat me up when Karenton Facey from JC. I'm like, no, oh boy, that. And and we always know, we always felt proud, but we wish you were performing from RBI school. Let me ask you a question, because I want to. When you went to Jamaica College, was it the same thing where you were like making a name for yourself in both track and field at Jamaica College also?
I think I made my name mostly on the track. Mostly on the track.
But you also played Manning Cup football.
But I also played Manning Cup. I didn't play Manning Cup my very first year. Actually, when I just got there, I started out training for the Manning Cup team. But the team was that much far ahead because they started training from in the summer.
Oh, okay.
And when school starts, Manning Cup is going to start in about 2 weeks. I talked to the coach, very good coach, the big up Mr. Jimmy Sinclair. And he pulled me aside and said, Facey, you could be at the team, but chances are you want to be like getting in the playing time or you want to be a major force on the team. But you could be on the team transitioning into next year. Oh, okay. So what I did, I chose not to play anymore. And I started track training. But at the time for track, and that's a funny thing, a lot of people don't know, even though I was running track, but I was, in my strongly opinion, I was a much better long jumper. Because in class 3, I won Eastern Champs in class 3 at Morant High School. So I started training at JC. I was doing mostly in the long jump pit. So I was not running that
I didn't know
much.
that. I always see you on the track. I never see you near the long jump pit at all.
And that year too, first year class, second year class too, I made boys champs. I made the final in the long jump that year.
Oh, okay.
The only running I did for GC that year, I ran on the 4x1.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so I was always on at least a JC 4x1 team, but I was mostly jumping. And unfortunately, I was 7th place. I was able to give the school a point, but that was a big thing for me because I'm like, you have all these major jumpers that was doing good things, but I was good to make the finals, which I think one of the things that kind of messed me up as well. I hung out with some of the guys the night before, and we decided to go Kentucky to eat some chicken. On our way back, somebody just decided to start get some trouble and trouble some people, and the man started flinging some stones. So I had pushed those slippers, and I was running. The slippers buckled up, and I fell and scraped off my big toe. So just imagine trying to jump.
The next day,
I
right?
I couldn't get to elevate myself the way I wanted to, but 7th place was what I got as a class.
Which track event you think? Which track event was your specialty at JC that you think you really made a name for yourself with? Which event was your niche, so to speak?
You know what? Deep down inside, I love the 200 meter because I was a good curve runner. But I think the 100 maybe was better for me because I was not as strong coming off the curve and going on the straightaway. I was not as strong, but the 100 meter because I had a good start as well.
Any first place in any event during your boys champs tenure at JC?
No first place at champs. First place as champs, everybody. Most of my success were like on our sprint relay teams and stuff like that.
Yes, I remember that. Gibson relay, I remember clearly.
We came out.
Karenton Facey of JC.
We came out crazy in class 1. And I think the thing for that, not trying to make any excuse, but things and times have changed now. It's hard for you to do both sports. You can be good at both sports, but when you're talking about to be the number 1 and to be always getting a medal, it's going to be hard playing Manning Cup and then go back to transition into.
Because I was about to ask you, how I know a lot of people, even in my time at Morant High School, where they ran track and they played football. Not everybody was as good as doing both as you were for different high schools from town to country. How did you manage being a football star, a track star, and did your schoolwork, did the academics suffer as a result of that in any way?
I think it did. I don't think it was like totally suffered, but I think it did because one of the main thing is you get so caught up in the fact that, okay, you want to win this and you want to win that. But at that particular time, as much as I like school, I didn't realize that, it goes hand in hand. And the academics really was supposed to lead everything else. You get so caught up
in sports
that, knowing that eventually, your high school days are going to be over and you're going to want to move on to a university or a college or something.
Which you did.
Which I did. But the lead for those things were academics, your GC, A-levels, SAT scores, all of that type of stuff. So I was not no top academic student. I mean, I think I was decent.
But in retrospect, you felt like you should have balanced it out more.
I should have.
Yeah.
I should have. And a lot of those
That's
things,
usually how it goes.
And I think with these new athletes, I think it's much easier because they have more people to guide them and to, to make them understand that you really have to put more focus on the academics.
One track and field question I want to ask you. I have a friend. He's an old Karenton boy. His name is Denton McCoy. He's more like a late 80s, early 90s type of guy. Big up Denton, my brethren. Yeah. He always used to tell me about his number one rival was this guy named Ali Watson. He said, Ali Watson beat me every meet. I was sick of him. Who was your number one rival? Individual rival, and from what school?
Oh, man. The guy I run against a lot. For some reason, if we got champs and I make a semi-final, or if I got Karenton trials and I make a semi-final, for some reason, he's always in my race. And his biggest rival at the time was also at JC. But the guy who I find myself running against a lot was Garfield Campbell.
Garfield Campbell from Karenton.
From Karenton. Yeah. I'm not going to say he was my big rival. His main rival was another guy from JC named Frederick Wolf. But for some reason...
He was just always there.
He was always...
in the way.
He was always in my race. Very good guy, though. And very good sprinter. Very good sprinter. Again, R.I.P. Garfield, good guy.
He passed away?
Yeah, he passed away. He passed away, but he's a very good sprinter.
Oh, I didn't know.
But I just don't know. He's always... I got Karenton trials. He's in my Eats. He's in my semi-final.
He's always there.
Champs is in my semi-final. I'm like, yeah. But it was good to be going up against a guy like that.
You started traveling across the world to do track and field at an early age with JC. Like, you are also a part of a historic JC pen relays team. Tell me about that.
Yes. Myself, Frederick Wolf, Nicholas Tracy, Ricardo Gilly Thompson, won the first pen relays for Jamaica College, 1985.
The first win
JC
win JC ever got at pen relays. The first win, period.
Yeah.
JC ever got in the pen relays in the state of Pennsylvania, in the United States of America.
Yeah.
You were a part of that team.
Yeah, man. I was the lead-off leg. The closest we came before that was 2 years before. I think it was 1983. We got second place.
You hear that? Yeah. The first win JC ever had at the pen relays.
Yeah.
Person from St. Thomas was a part of that. Well, St. Thomas, we keep on in everything.
Yeah. At the time, it was not as fast as these guys are running now, because, man, we got to Pennsylvania, man, it was cold. It was like you're literally in a freezer.
Oh, yeah, Pennsylvania just down the street from me. I know about that type of weather.
Yeah.
So you also played Marine Cup football. What position you represent JC playing?
Okay, so that was another transition again too.
Yes,
so
because initially he was a goalkeeper.
I was a goalkeeper, and just real quick, I was a goalkeeper first and second form, under 15, under 13. I'm going out for the Costa Cup. I actually was the goalkeeper, but for some reason there was going to be a practice match, and at the time Mr. Martin was a coach, and I heard him said we need a forward. And for some reason before the practice match, I heard I was going to be the forward. Never ever playing on the field at all. Never was a field player at all.
Yeah, I don't know how crazy that is.
And trust me on that one. It's a real story. And when he started the side, he started me as forwards. As I started, nothing to do with goalkeeping or anything. Anyway, we were playing a team from Yalas named Rockall.
I remember Rockall.
Right. And myself and the great Johnny Pecker, big up John Johnson.
I know who he is.
Right. We were two of the youngest player on the team at the time. I was actually the youngest. I was maybe like 14 at the time. And both of us are starting up front. And we end up beating Rockall. I think it was either 3-love or 3-1. And Trouble U Thomas scored the first goal. And yours truly scored the next two. So at the age of 14 playing against a club team and I score a goal and everything, I'm like, that was a good thing. Now, from there, when I went to Jamaica College.
So hold up, Rockall at the time, was it with like the Howie and Dougie and them at that time?
Yes.
And the quarter pounds, the trench fields?
They were younger.
They were younger.
Okay. They were, because Dougie maybe a year or so older than me, but they were younger. And then they would join up with other senior players as well. But yeah,
because there were some good footballers from Yalas back in the day.
And I have a story on them too as well. I have a story on them, but yeah, they were younger at that particular time.
Okay.
So the transition to Jamaica College now. So I'm going to JC saying I'm a forward. And like I said, when I went to 82, I did not prolong the thing. So when I came back in 83, I was in camp as a forward, and I made the squad. I'm going to call it the squad. So I was in the 22, not starting or anything. The very first game we played, the left back got a red card. And I remember one day in training, the coach was just said, you guys go out there, have fun. So I want him to go out there, have fun. You can't play anywhere on the field. And some man will play defense all them life, one go play forward, then one go start shift.
Because them things say football is a goal scoring game.
Yeah, man, that's fun everybody I have. And by me, as a new player in the club, I'm like, I end up, left back was the only position that was left. So I said, okay, I'll go over left back. I said, I'll stay over there. And the same guy used to run track with me, Nicholas Tracy, a very good athlete as well. He was a right winger. And he just love shift and do everything. I said, all right. And believe you me, every time him do everything down that day, me I tackle him, me I run him down.
Can't pass.
Can't pass. Everybody come me and say, well, because I was fast at the same time. Nobody now pass. So I said, wait, this feel good. So after that Money Cup game that we will end up losing that game to. We end up losing that game to Arden, 2-0. We were a yellow jersey with blue stripe, and we have never seen that jersey ever again after losing that 2-1. But anyway, came back to practice, and the coach pulled me aside and said, Facey, I'm thinking of putting that left back. I said, coach, me ready. Me not ask no question, nothing else, me just say me ready. One thing I learned from that is, it doesn't matter where you say you play. If you're not on the field, you're not playing.
Exactly.
Okay? So I tell myself, say, I'm going to make the best of this opportunity. And I started the following game at left back. Overlap, I think we played St. Catherine High at Stadium East. I remember that game. I overlap and I score my first Money Cup goal. And my name was in the paper.
Pivotal moment.
Yes, so my name was in the paper for that. So from then I was always playing left back, and I just eventually been a defender for the rest of everything else. Even when I was playing some club ball here after college and stuff, I end up even playing center half.
Okay. Question. During your tenure at JC, what was the highest level your team got to in Manning Cup? Did you guys ever win while you were there?
Oh man, that's a heartbreaking question as well.
And if not, what's the highest stage you got to?
Okay, so in 1984, after 83 season was done, in 1984 we retained pretty much all the players who could come back to school, and we had in my opinion, maybe the best squad on the island at the time. We were totally undefeated throughout the stages, the group stages. We won our playoff zone, make it to Manning Cup final against the great St. George's College. Now, this is Manning Cup history. Remember this one. We were playing Manning Cup finals on a Saturday. So what they decided that both teams were playing that good. I don't know if it was because we were playing that good or it was just for monetary reason. I'm not sure. But they said if the game draw on Saturday, it would have to be a replay. There would be no overtime, no penalty kick. We will come back and replay on Monday. That was the only Manning Cup. Check it out. Saturday we drew 0-0. I was on the bench, as a matter of fact. I had a bad knee and everything after playing some club ball, but that's a different story. We drew 0-0. Came back on Monday. We took the lead. 1-0 halftime. Stanza mash up, GSC are going with everything. Unfortunately, one mistake. You could call it a goalkeeping error. And just think about you make a bad pass to your opponent and the man kick a shot from about 30 yards in the back of your goal. 1-1. We were not dead. A little bit, I would say, we were not dead. We were still playing. The guys were still playing good. We were still playing good. Another ball came over. Goalkeeper leave. I don't think he should have left this line, but you know. And the George's forward was very fast. A guy named Chipper Morgan. Big up Chipper. And him lob it over the. He got there before the defender and lob it over the goalkeeper head. 2-1. The table turned. So we got a little bit deflated. I want to say that we were out of the game, but George's was a very good team. Very good team. You could not allow no type of error when they played.
So George's like eventually won.
So they won. They beat us 2-1.
Okay.
And to this day, they are still our biggest rival in any type of soccer Jamaica College and St. George's play. Even at my age group, because we usually play them once a year at a cup called Zadie Cup with Mr. Dennis Zadie, R.I.P. Mr. Dennis Zadie.
I think he died in the 86 World Cup, right? The accident, I remember.
Right. So we have a trophy. The reason being for that trophy is Dennis Zadie was a Jamaica College coach in 1974 when they won the Manning Cup. And then he was also the St. George's College coach. So that rivalry have a lot of things to it because one of the players who Zadie coach, a Jamaica College player, went on a scholarship, Jimmy Sinclair, and came back and was the Jamaica College coach at the time. So it was coach going up against players for that Manning Cup championship in 84.
Oh, okay. Well, you made it to Manning Cup final. That's big.
You think it big at the time, but looking back at it,
the way you lost is not that good. But
you have to listen to all these people talking about. It doesn't matter how you lost. It's just the fact that you lose, and now that we're at this age,
you still have to listen to that.
Yeah, you have to hear it,
that was going to be my next question. Who was the top rival school? I don't have to ask now because no one knows.
And it is still going on to this day. Manning Cup of Jamaica, and if we play them here, and it's two blue school. They are the little light blue and we are the true blue. So that's not going to ever stop.
You know what? I'll call that, keep on the Kingston rivalry to myself.
That was our thing.
Simultaneously playing Manning Cup and running track for JC, you also maintained a presence at home in St. Thomas by being a part of Real MORANT Football Club. Right. So, how did you used to pull that off? You would come home on the weekends and play for Real MORANT?
Yeah, man. I would never have to train because once I'm in the team and, I never have to train. So if sometimes we play a Manning Cup game maybe one time in the week or you would play one on the weekend. So on the weekend you could play either Friday or you could play on a Saturday. So even if I played a Manning Cup game on a Friday or a Saturday, I would still come and play for Real MORANT on a Sunday.
And who were some of the teammates at Real MORANT at that time?
Oh man, Real MORANT, Cheetah, Scotty, Darian, Brutus, Mr. Lee, China, both China, Big China, Little
Kojo
China,
and China.
yeah.
China is now Mr. Mayor.
Yes, yes, yes. Big up St. Thomas people. Trouble, Silly,
Goalkeeper. I
Sylvan
used to be
Dale.
at those matches.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Goalkeeper Sylvan Dale. And another guy, unfortunate, Kilowatt, great player as well.
Oh man.
Great player as well.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
There are other players. Stitch, Norman Jervis, Brenton, Brian.
I know everybody you mentioned.
Yeah, yeah. We had a very, very good.
Yeah, Real MORANT was the real deal.
Very, very good team. Yeah. And yeah, the highlights with Real MORANT now was in the same year, JC McMahon Cup final was the same year. We and Yalas played, well, Rock Hall at the time, I think. Played in.
I don't think they made the transition to Yalas United yet.
Yeah, maybe 2 years after.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we and them played in the championship game over by Goodyear in the same 84-85 season. One love. One goal came from an overlap by yours truly again. Which was a very proud moment for me because my dad was working at Goodyear at the time and he was at the game. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a very big times for you, huh?
Yes, big time.
Who, during your time at Real MORANT Football Club in Morant, PA, who was Real MORANT's biggest rival?
Oh,
Would you say Yalas or Berlin?
No, man, Berlin. It was no doubt. From that are going from the 70s, like real serious rival, like.
Trust me.
Yeah, serious rival. Real MORANT and Berlin.
Some of you younger folks may not know that era, 80s, early 80s, mid 80s, and even before. I was big enough to go to the games. When Real MORANT and Berlin square off over Springfield. Pandemonium.
Yeah, you have to make sure you don't cook from all 12 o'clock. And I mean, people are coming from all ends of the parish. So, I mean, and then transportation was not as prevalent as now. So
exactly.
Sometimes I might try to get a ride from, sometimes it's all a dumper truck, a man jumping I come from, say, upper Port Morant, or I come from the other end of the parish.
Wasn't Clan playing at that time?
Clan was there as well.
Have you ever played with a better defender than Clan?
Clan was maybe more aggressive, but more composed. Maybe Scotty.
Scotty?
Yeah,
okay.
Scotty.
Big up Scotty.
Yeah, big up Scotty. You can always argue back and forth.
Are they brothers or cousins? Sometimes they're brothers, they're family.
Because as a matter of fact, I think Scotty had gotten a call for Allman in 1 year.
Oh, okay.
I think China as well, but Scotty he really knew the game.
Clan too, because I remember Clan telling me he getting
Clan might have got a call for Allman. Not Allman, sorry Scotty, not Allman, Alda Costa.
Alda Costa, yeah.
Yes. But Clan was very solid, aggressive, but Scotty was good in the air and on the ground as well.
Oh, okay.
I think that.
What about Jadi, Dums?
Dums was playing right. I play with Dums. Dums was playing right back. Dums was playing. He was more a little cooler player, but he could play as well. Big up
Jadi in the UK.
Yeah, man. Marby High School, before I played, they had a very, very, very good team. Make it to the playoff and maybe won a couple of games as well,
Who was your favorite Berlin player? Berlin being the #1 rival.
My favorite Berlin player was a guy named Lolo Puma.
Oh, damn.
Lolo Puma.
Damn. That was coming up in another part. I'm going to have to skip that. I'm going to have to skip that question.
Lolo Puma.
I don't remember. I think I have a vague memory of Lolo Puma.
Yeah, man. But the thing with Lolo Puma now, Lolo Puma was a guy who, like I said, when
I know who he is, but I don't have a lot of memory of watching him play.
Because he maybe stopped playing in the early 80s.
Oh, okay.
But very good player. And that was the biggest talk of best player in St. Thomas was between Lolo Puma and Cheetah at the time. Pick your choice.
Cheetah coached me, so Cheetah was clinical,
Very.
He's like a to me, a comparison between a Ronaldinho and a Ronaldo of Brazil. Ronaldo is not as flashy, but he gets it done.
Yeah, man. Cheetah
will score goal in a minute.
And he understand the game.
Yes,
and very skillful, very complete. And he had the passion for the sport. Cheetah would just get up on him alone, just go train, just go run. Juggle the ball, and in business like him ready. You know, I'm ready. So when I'm like Cheetah talk to you, you have to get yourself together.
I think he's probably the first man to score from the corner spot.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
I don't see why Cheetah wasn't a star for like Jamaica. He was a real good player.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about before we get into anything else is it's a track and field subject matter. For a person who traveled the journey from beginning stages to college, you traveled the trajectory, as they would say. You made it, overseas, representing your school, getting a scholarship, moving to the United States and all that good stuff. Now we're at a point where the world sees Jamaica as the sprint factory with the emergence of Usain Bolt, Shelley and Fraser Price, Asafa Powell, Ilian, and all that good stuff.
Right.
I'm from an era where I'm accustomed to seeing phenomenal track stars. You remember, I was at all the track meets in the 80s. I'm gonna name some names. There are phenomenal runners like Garfield Campbell, you just mentioned. There was Daniel England of Calabar. There was Thomas Mason of St. Jago. Kerry Johnson from Karenton was phenomenal. Yourself, Lindale Patterson from Georges. But there was Kirk Mirage, I think his name was from JC. Dean Mirage, yeah. There was Wayne Fenton from Woolmans, who is also from St. Thomas, rest in peace. God bless his soul. I'm from that era, so I know that track and field stars was a lot. There was a lot of them, great runners. But we never heard anything of them after a certain point, like after high school or maybe a little bit after college. The dominance that Jamaica has in track and field now on the international stage, what's the reason why we never saw that before? Because they were always great athletes. Speak on that a little bit for someone who traveled the journey.
In my humble opinion with that, when a lot of people were maybe getting scholarships from the 70s, even though people were getting scholarships way before that, up until my time in the 80s, a lot of us were coming to places that we have no idea. We were just getting a scholarship. You're getting a scholarship to...
Man, I got foreign, man, just gone.
You're just gone. You're getting a scholarship to a college or to a university. You don't know much about it, And sometimes you come into places where... desolate places, like some country and
Nebraska,
some place,
Idaho.
Yes, some place are cool and there is nothing cultural for you anywhere in sight. Nothing said Jamaica, nothing said the Caribbean. But as far as you're concerned, you're here for a reason. You're in a scholarship here. So a lot of these, and then you don't have financial support then. And a lot of times too, you don't even, to get back in touch with your family back home, maybe you have to write a letter. Very few people had telephones at the time. So you come here and you're on a mission, academics and athletics, but some of the times you're out of touch with what is fully going on.
And people have to survive. And a lot of these athletes were also like the only person in their family who got a chance, and people are depending on them back home.
That's a big one. Very good point. You're here, and a lot of times still a lot of family don't even realize that it's not like a foreigner come. You're here to go to school. You're here to go to school.
Yeah, you're in a foreign country, but you have to go to school because you have an obligation. Yes. You have a scholarship.
You have a scholarship, and you have to meet that obligation, starting with your academics first. That's the first thing my track coach told me. And that was one of my first debates in college, the no pass, no play rule. So you don't pass, you won't be able to play. And you can't play, you lose your scholarship. And you have some coach, a real feisty, you know. They're going to tell you, say, they're going to ship up on a banana boat and send them back to Jamaica.
Disrespect. Disrespect.
Yeah, so, yeah, I just think that we came in a time when, you know, financially it was very rough. The struggle was real.
So in essence, you're saying the 70s, 80s athletes who were great were basically the guinea pigs to see if these overseas scholarships really work.
Yes.
Because with the emergence of the superstars of track and field that we have today, I don't think too many of them went overseas. It's because they have these good track clubs back home now, the races and the MVP and all them things.
Well, you have good track clubs, yes. And some of those coaches that are still there coaching, you still have coaches who came up and who have gotten track scholarship, who came here and actually go back to Jamaica as well. We're still a part of this coaching system.
And realize that,
yeah, we can do this and we can do it here.
You can stay home.
Yeah, you can stay home. And another thing again too, I think the college system, university system in Jamaica more open up for athletes now. Back in our time, you were not getting a scholarship. You could get a scholarship.
Yeah, that is so true because the last Penn Relays before the pandemic was 2019.
Right.
UTech was, like every time I turn around, UTech had a good team in every relay on the collegiate level.
Yeah.
And I started saying to myself, when did UTech become so good?
Right. For you to go to University of the West Indies and be an athlete, it's not just being an athlete, it's your academics. No, if your athletics come and take you there, then that's good.
Okay.
At CAS used to have...
UTech used to be CAS, I think.
UTech was CAS.
Yeah.
But CAS used to have a CAS club that maybe was some of the athletes were there, maybe taking 1 or 2 classes, like part-time students or whatever. And they used to also have CAS track team. So they used to have like a combination of 2.
Oh, okay.
GC Foster now, which is more of a sports college, then they will have a full team.
Oh, okay. Then. Because I thought about it like, yeah, Hussein is great. We love him. Asafa is great. We love them.
I remember one year.
We love them. We respect them. But, you know, I'm from an era where Usain Bolt and Asafa Powell probably weren't even born. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I know some names that they probably only heard of. And I'm thinking, where are those people?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Some of them are still here in the U.S. And 1 or 2 of them might have gone back home. And a lot of people, too, I think deep down inside, stay away from the sport because they don't think that they get the credit
that they deserve.
I mean, now what we're seeing is the fact that these athletes are running faster. Time-wise, yes, they're running much faster. We all understand that. But it came from somewhere. You know, it's not, if you were to take the time out of it, I mean, there's just so much work that other athletes, the Raymond Stewarts of the world, the Gregory Megu have put in.
The Albert Lawrence, who is from License St. Thomas, I might add.
A lot of athletes
Sidebar.
have put in a lot. And I mean, not to knock these athletes because they're great. I mean, I love to watch them every day. They're doing their thing. But I still think that the Juliet Cuthbert, oh my God, I just think that Juliet Cuthbert was one of the greatest sprint I've ever seen. You know, but new things come in, new people run things, and it's going to be very hard. Every now and again, I'm sure they might recognize.
I remember
1 or 2 people.
I remember you told me in a conversation, like back in the 80s, if you were still doing good in track and field, if you're overseas and you're in college and you get called for the Olympic trials, it would be your personal responsibility.
It would be your responsibility
to find your way back to Jamaica. And that you would only get called only if they know where you were.
Right. So what they would do, because I remember I got a letter from the JHA. So they will tell you, if they know where you are, they would notify you that, okay, Olympic trials or World Championship trials or CAC Games trials. And that would be pretty much it. If you go, you go. If you don't, you don't. And A lot of athletes would...
And it's your responsibility financially to
Yeah,
find
man,
your way
it's your
there.
athlete financially to find your way there.
So
No,
they invited you to a trials, but you have to find your way
you
there.
have to find your way there. But if there were big athletes who were like, we're going to really need this person, then maybe there were means and ways that they could maybe get that athlete on the island.
I'm quite
but
sure things has changed.
As far as the average man, yeah, you're on your own with that.
Oh, okay.
And some of the time too, if you really go to like real top universities, I mean, even though it's not an NCAA, it's illegal NCAA wise, you never know what they could do for you as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Man, listen. This podcast that I'm doing, my mission is to highlight people from where I'm from, people who put in some work, whether it's business, whether it's sports, whether it's entertainment. You understand what I'm saying? And I remember the days when Karenton Facey's name would ring bells in the national stadium, and being someone from St. Thomas, we always felt proud. So I want to tell it to your face. We salute you for the work you put in, brethren. And I know you're from St. Thomas and you're proud to be from St. Thomas. And, manners and respect and honor. But before we close the show, we do a little section what we call license to choose. Or, I'm going to give you some options.
Right.
And, you could choose one or choose both. And, tell me why if you choose to do that. So track and field, Bolt or Asafa?
I got you saying Bolt, yeah.
Why?
I just think...
Because he dominates, he wins so much. But I always hear people say Asama has the better form. Asafa has the better form.
Yeah, but...
Asama is the better sprinter.
I just think one of the main things for me, I think both have a killer instinct. And, once he realized him have that killer instinct and him can take the world over, he took it. And in a good way, as much as him do all them poses and everything, it's all in good fun.
Yeah, that's his personality.
There's nothing wrong to let people know that, you know what, man, I am the dominant person into this, and I'm going to make sure that you and I'm the dominant person.
You know what I think personally? I think he uses those little things to relax himself.
That too. But he also use it to mess up somebody
Intimidate
else.
some people.
Yeah.
All right. Veronica, VCB or Merlin?
Oh, you have to go Merlin. I'll have to go Merlin. VCB, very good athlete.
One more goals.
But I'll have to go Merlin. And that thing too is coming from where it's coming from. I mean, Merlin been there from grassroots.
The amount of work she put in for the length of
time. VCB didn't do that.
No, she works.
Yes.
She works for a long period of time.
Yeah,
but Mommy Merlin, the amount of work she did for the length of time that she did it. She didn't get an Olympic gold medal. They used to call her the bronze queen.
Right.
But some of these people that was beating Merlin, I think was on some type of drugs. Think about it.
Well, you never know. We never know.
Listen, I'm not in track and field. I can say whatever I want. I'm just a spectator.
Right.
All right. So now we're gonna move on to some football questions. Oh, we gonna have some more track and field, but Ronaldo or Messi?
I'm a Messi guy, mainly because I'm an Argentina fan, and I don't think before Messi. Well, you see some of this in Diego Maradona. But Messi, again, he dominates the field. He dominates the game. He is the man, especially in the middle of the field. Everything runs through him. Ronaldo, very talented and can do his thing on an individual one-on-one basis. Can't take that from him. But Messi, like you make some porridge. The main ingredients in everything.
We have these debates all the time on my little football team in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.
I tell them all the time, athletically, Ronaldo is superior. Skill-wise,
man, Messi is impeccable.
His touches,
fair little man.
His skill set, Ronaldo is not even close. But Ronaldo can leap and beat you in the air, and he can score goals, and he would outwork you, I think. But he's not on Messi's level when it comes to skills and touches.
And ball movements,
Okay, so we gonna go home now. Somewhat. Raheem Sterling or Leon Bailey?
Ooh. That's a tough one. I think Leon's still learning. He still have a lot to learn. Welcome to the English League. I would go Sterling for right now, but Leon is raw. Him have so much.
I'm gonna reserve my opinion on that
go.
one. I need to watch Leon Bailey a little bit more before.
Yeah, Raheem is raw. I mean, Leon Bailey is raw. Speed and him developing much better skills. Very good shot. But I just think where Sterling is right now is a much more composed player. Playing for City, he's a much more complete player, and he's a little bit ahead of Leon.
Thanks to Pep, because I think
Pep make a big difference in his life.
I think Raheem's game sometimes needs to be a little bit fine-tuned. He has a time to me where too much over dribble every now and again. You know, it's better now. Liverpool days, he was out of control.
Right. Yeah, so I will give it to him for right now.
Yeah. What's your favorite Premier League team?
Oh man, straight true blue Chelsea.
It's that damn JC thing again, man.
Yeah, straight true blue.
Shout out to all my gooners worldwide. I'm an Arsenal lover. I don't care how much beating we get. I'm jump shit.
You guys are trying to come back.
Oh yeah, we whooped Tottenham's ass last week, big time.
Yeah.
So now we're going home with this question. Like, favorite female sprinter? Oh damn, I think you answered this question earlier. Juliet or Marcia Brown?
Oh, Juliet for sure.
Okay.
Marcia, my girl too. I think she, in the earlier years, I love Marcia. I just love her farm. I love everything about her. But again, Juliet, very aggressive, very, she conquers.
Oh, okay.
She conquers, and she's going to let you know that, you know what, I'm a conqueror. So
I didn't see any of them in high school. It was a little bit before my time, but I seen Gillette on the world stage, and
very good sprinter, great sprinter.
Yeah, she did her thing. So next one, we're kind of still home, but you know, with a little twist to it. Omar McLeod or Hansel Parchment?
Oh my God, this one is a tough one. I don't know why I think McLeod. I want to go McLeod, but I'm gonna stay home with Ansel. He did this thing. He did this thing.
Yeah.
He did this thing. But it's a tight one. It's a tight one. I'm gonna keep it in St. Thomas. Ansel Parchment. I'm gonna keep it in St.
Good choice.
I'm gonna keep it in St. Thomas. Ansel Parchment.
Okay, so I think you kind of answered this in earlier in the interview. Lulu Puma or Cheetah?
I'll have to go with Cheetah, but Lulu Puma is one of the best left footer I've seen. But I would go with Cheetah as a more total soccer player.
He's a business baller. Yeah. He gets it done.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I will have to go with Cheetah. As a real man and everything, it was like a coach as well for myself.
Yeah.
I will have to go with I will go with Cheetah.
All right. Favorite Hugh brother back in your day, Kojo or China?
Oh, definitely Kojo.
Why?
I just think Kojo, just his presence alone for me, he was a businessman on the soccer field. He was a businessman. Kojo would, especially
as short as he was, or he is.
He was a businessman, especially when he was playing for Port Morant United. I mean, everybody, you have to step up your game because Kojo was that dominant captain on the team who want to make sure he want the best out of everybody. You know, China was a very good forward as an individual player, very good teammate as well. But Kojo was like the entire field.
For those of you who don't know, we're talking about the father and the uncle of Jermaine Hugh. Okay, so now you know where it started.
Yeah, I would have to go with Kojo.
Okay. Final question.
Right.
Morant Bay High School or JC? This is a trap.
Oh my God, man. I mean, they both serve their purpose. They both serve their purpose. But, you know, it's like the beginning and the end. You know, you had to start somewhere and you had to finish somewhere. So That's what I'm going to look at it. I mean, it was a great start for
Mark Bay
me.
High School is the root, and JC were the branches.
Yeah, it's a great, it was a very good start for me at Mark Bay High School. I've met some very good people. But at Jamaica College, I think at Mark Bay High School, it was much easier for me. I was much more dominant in the things that I do. I used to long jump, high jump, play ball, everything at all. I was more dominant there. Even if I was not the number one person, but I was still more dominant. At Jamaica College, it becomes very, 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 very competitive. On the soccer field, I was realizing that, hey, you're not a top baller. And the track team, yes, I was a top athlete, but you're not the top athlete. In
more competition in the city, but you still excelled in the city.
More competition. The thing I'll give Mark Bay High School a lot of credit for, academically, I don't think there was not that big of a difference. I mean, as far as the classes that I were in, I think both set of students were doing their thing. I mean, you have the exception on one and at Morant Bay, and then you have the exception at the other and at Jamaica College. But it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up.
So the answer is both. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. Right. As long as they didn't leave us out.
No man. I mean, as far as achievement-wise, I did a lot for mostly in Eastern Champs. And at JC, I would do a little bit more on a bigger stage. And I always said, I've been to two of the greatest high schools. Morant Bay High School, the greatest high school in the East.
To this day,
Jamaica College,
bar none,
I think is the greatest high school on the island, in the world.
Okay, so listen, man. Thank you for being on my little program. I'm really just getting started. I want to thank everybody for watching. Subscribe to the channel, because we're just getting started. You wouldn't want to miss what we have coming up, as we continue the journey in telling St. Thomas stories and salute some unsung heroes from where we are from. You understand what I'm saying? Want to say shout out to anybody?
Yes, I want to say a shout out to a guy that I never mentioned earlier, Livingston Weatherman Beckford. He was like one of my the guy who coached me pretty much all the sports.
That's Livy, right?
Yes.
You're on the West Coast, in California.
Cricket, track, soccer. So big up Livy, big up Cheeto.
Yeah.
Out of St.
I was seeing Livy do some phenomenal things in the goal and on the field.
Yeah, he was the guy who helped me to develop that passion for goalkeeping. He was like a real goalkeeper coach to me. Plummy Carlton as a younger youth growing up, Ricky Murray, JT. Man, there was a guy when I was growing up name was Steve McQueen, very good player.
I heard about him.
Yeah, good player. After Big Up Trouble.
He's from like York, Seafood area?
He used to go to school up Trinity, but he's from Springfield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. After Big Up Trouble, you Thomas
Steve McQueen used to play for Portmore United in the days when Portmore was dominated. Yeah, man, I know that guy, yeah.
After Big Up Trouble, my
salute to Mr. Hugh Thomas.
My D-Cup captain, Johnny Pecker, my classmate.
Yeah.
Big rival as well. Anthony Christie, Everton Hamilton.
Salute Boga Christie.
Yeah, Juliet Marcia. The entire Mark Bay High School track team. And we always have to big up the big man, Mr. Howard Jackson.
Salute.
Out of St. Thomas.
One more question. In 1986, were you still there in 86, Boys Champs?
That was my last year.
That was the last year. That was probably the best year for Morant Bay High School. I think they placed in the top 10.
Yes.
That's when Christy let the world know I'm here.
Yeah.
And Kevin Williams and Joseph Grant and Rowan White, Eric Sergio.
Christy did this thing in 85. That's when he broke the record. Yeah. Kevin in 86 came out and just
dominated, and then we lost him to migration.
Yeah. So
my question is, that year when Morant Bay High School was doing good, not great like say a JC, KC, whatever, but we made a name for ourselves in 86. Did you felt like, damn, I could have stayed at Morant Bay High School?
No, I've never felt that. That's a tough one. Anthony Christie always said, I just think that my time there was up.
Okay.
It was up. But I would always go back. We even would practice with the guys sometimes. They would have the little camps, and I would go on the camps with them sometimes. So I'm always there, always supporting them. I'm going to big up a couple more JC, man. Big up my track coach, Patrick Ains, soccer coach, Jimmy Sinclair. My Penroley team, Ricardo Thompson, Frederick Wolf, Nicholas Tracy. Big up Mikey McDonald, Ferdinand McKenzie, Pat Cover McDonald, and my entire JC 1984 Money Cup team and track team at Jamaica College as well. So, thank you, Mr. Brown, for having me. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. We're just getting started. We got more here. You might see me in Houston, Texas pretty soon. You never know.
Yes, and the funny thing about this now, because we're doing this in New York and at my brethren house, and you see all the sports things kind of funny because I'm at the house of Raston Boswell, who was a competitor. He went to here, so he was like a rival to me, but also one of my best friends.
Are all those 80s guys, you know, the names we just mentioned, the Kerry Johnsons, the Thomas Masons, the Lindale Pattersons, yourself, Karenton, Facey. Well, I know you and Christy are like brothers, but right. Is there like a brotherhood among the 80s athletes who live in different parts of the world now?
Yeah, if you still have a connection with them. I mean, all that rivalry thing is done and over. So if you still have a connection with
for some people, it's never over.
But as far as bragging rights is always going to be
that's
there.
what I mean.
But yeah, you develop a brotherhood and even a sisterhood because everybody would talk about.
Because from my era, we will never like anybody from Seafort High School.
That is true. Yeah, we develop.
You know, as far as bragging rights, we love them. Yeah, it's our parish people, but competition-wise, you know,
you always have to keep that.
Yeah,
I mean, like the other day I put on, I don't know what I was doing, but something have to do with purple, and the GSC man, them give me the most, and I'm like, look, I actually went to a university that the color was purple.
That's
but I still tried not to wear it because, you know, I'm gonna face hell with it. But
yeah, I understand, man.
Yeah, one of those things. And big up Purvey A&M University as well. You know, it was a tough days and rough times, but you know, I was able to get my bachelor's degree and a master's degrees from there. So through all those adversities and everything, you know,
you still prevail.
Yeah, and as a HBCU as well, you know, you have to give thanks for that as well.
So we're gonna wrap. Enjoy the rest of your time in New York City. You know, I had to come through and get this done. I want you to say hello, look in the camera and say hello to little sis. She's a friend of mine. Say hi, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
Nikki, big up yourself. I'm hanging out with Big Bro. All right, cool. We out.
I'm going to give one more shout out to Ludlow McQueen at St. Thomas, the guy who got my transfer from Martin Bay High School to Jamaica College.
Okay, big him up.
Blessings.
Salute, respect.
Yeah.
We out.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Check out our website, thereallicense.com. Join our exercise program, Movements of Ja People. See you next time on The Real License, the only show that's licensed for real.
Yeah, you heard what my baby said.